The joys of being in sports media is that we get to sit down with some awesome people. And today, here for our pregame show, Kris and I are sitting down with Fordham women's basketball senior forward Meg Jonassen. Megan, thank you so much for doing this today. And I want to jump right into this. The first question that I've got for you is that it's just been a roller coaster rodeo here with all the COVID and all the cancellations, games moving. I mean, just today, as we're recording this, it is Thursday, January 6th. You guys were originally scheduled to play Rhode Island, but now you're going to play LaSalle, sort of a last minute change, and you're a team captain. So what is the message you convey to the rest of the group in terms of preparing for this game and just such a quick flip of opponents here?
I think that just something that our team has really stood by, which our coaches do like a really good job of making sure that we stick true to just always like fighting through adversity, no matter what kind of comes our way, and overcoming that together. Because obviously the past couple of years have been insanely like you don't know what's going to happen. So it's just important that we stay together as a team and like we have the same common goal and vision. And then just kind of carrying on, preparing for our opponent, no matter who it is. That kind of thing.
For sure. It's tough, as Thomas mentioned, with all these moving parts. But something that hasn't changed, as I've noticed through, having the pleasure to get to come to some of your guys' practices, especially being at the games, getting to be there the other day and that great win against Fairleigh Dickinson. Your coaches, like you specifically, they love encouraging you during the game to keep shooting. And I love that. And I saw that you really take that to heart and did keep shooting from the mid-range, especially. Is that something you really talk about in practice? And what do you think the real benefit could be there if you get that mid-range shot going and as your coaches encourage you to? I thought that was a great little
thank you. Thanks. I think all of our coaches are like super motivating and like they instill a lot of confidence in me when it comes to like my jump shot, because freshman, sophomore year, I really didn't have like an outside shot game kind of thing, like a mid-range shot. So it's definitely opened the core on offense, I think, because my defender can no longer like sit in the lane necessarily, especially being a forward. Anytime I'm open in the game, they encourage me to shoot the ball and kind of get the offense going in that manner. That way it opens some of our like leading scorers up to like Anna, Asia Dingle. So whenever I have an open shot, I try and shoot it as long as I'm making them.
Obviously,
sounds good.
Yeah, making the shots is obviously the most important part, but you talked about, Megan, expanding the offense. This is a new element to your game. And not only that, but the benefit overall can probably help the team. Going a little bit into the nerdiness of basketball a bit, how do you think it opens up the game and it helps you guys down the road as you get into A10 play, A10 tournament play, and maybe even going further than that? How much can that benefit the team altogether?
I think it can really benefit the team. Like I said, like my opponent, I think FDU, at the beginning of the game, my defender was like really sitting off of me, which really opened me up. And by making my defender play me, obviously it opens especially the key up for drives and different things like that. And obviously we all know, like we talk about it every day in practice, conference play is just a different beast than non-conference. And we've had a really great non-conference schedule to prepare us for the tough conference play, because every single team in the A10 it's going to be a battle. And what's going to separate our team is just doing the little things. So I think that definitely all of our forwards on our team can really shoot. So no matter who it is, like Caitlin, Miranda, Millie, like Valisi, everyone can shoot. So no matter where they are on the court, it'll definitely open up some of our other players as well, which will really be beneficial down the road.
For sure, yeah. Getting some of that additional lineup versatility can be really, really helpful in tournament play. As you guys know, just being able to throw different looks at teams is a great thing. Kind of looking on the other side of points, 2 games in a row.
Oh, wow.
It's just
I don't even think I knew that.
72 total points for your opposing teams over 2 games,
right.
Not one. And you Coach Gately, we've been talking to her since before the season started, and she's always mentioned you as one of kind of the vocal leaders of the team. And we see what you do on defense as well. Was there anything extra that went into those efforts and holding those two teams to 36 points? Or do you think it was just kind of a function of the band being back together and getting to just play your game?
Yeah, I think especially after or preparing for the FDU game, especially our team kind of faced a lot of adversity off the court with COVID. Like I had COVID before Christmas break, so we obviously hadn't played in a couple of weeks. So we were just really excited to get back on the court and like have some competition and beat down on somebody else, not each other for once after practicing for so long. So I think that it was just excitement and like just the nature of everyone being super competitive on our team that really like instilled that energy and especially like communicating. We know the coach is always like during practice, that's one of our core like elements, I guess you could say. It's just communicate, talk. So
And talking is definitely one of the more important aspects of being the leader. And Megan, you're obviously one of the team captains and you're a senior this year. This is your final Atlantic 10 opener and it's going to be at the Rose Hill Gym.
yes.
Fortunately, there are no fans, but you have the responsibility as well of preparing the younger group for taking the reins when the senior group leaves. What has been the biggest point of emphasis to get that younger group ready for when you guys graduate?
I think that that's a good question. I think my freshman year, at least, my captains were Mary Golding and Lauren Holden, our assistant coach now. And they were absolutely like amazing captains. And they were always checking in on us and making sure we were okay. Cause obviously it's a huge change, especially like getting technical, just the speed of the game. It's so different. So I feel like just instilling confidence in our younger group. And like, although you're a freshman, like, or sophomore, whatever you are, as an underclassman, like you are so capable of performing and competing with girls that may be 4 years older than you. So I think just like also really instilling our core values and standards that the coaches have been instilling in me since day one. So just like kind of continuing that legacy, continuing those standards is huge because that's what separates our teams from other teams, just our culture.
For sure. That's something Coach Gately has talked to us about as well since
Mhm.
before the season. Is just your team chemistry and how important that can be, when things
Yeah.
get tough. As Thomas mentioned earlier, a little bit of a schedule change up, but you guys will be playing LaSalle next. They have some pretty good forwards, and that is
Yes.
always going to be a focus for you guys, as such a defensive-minded team, a team that really takes pride in trying to make things tough for other teams.
Yes, for sure.
With this matchup specifically, what are you thinking going into this? You have a tough assignment potentially, and depending, on specifically on how things match up, but you'll likely be facing, a tougher than average assignment. What's your mindset like going into a game like this against LaSalle?
I think just not underestimating them at all. Like LaSalle is a very good team, and we can't go in there, especially playing the non-conference schedule that we did, go in there with like big heads or thinking that we can just walk in and it's going to be a breeze of a game because it's like I said before, every single team in the A10 is very good this year. So I think just going in, staying true to like the scout that and what we've prepared for the game, and then like you said, just being defensively minded, I guess.
Yeah.
Just staying true to our defensive principles, and not letting our offense dictate our defense is going to be huge for us.
And Megan, I guess one more question before we wrap up this interview. Obviously, Gabby Crawford and Kayla Spruill are the two forwards that Kris sort of alluded to indirectly, if you will. So, pardon my language there, but they both combined for this LaSalle team for 13 rebounds per game between the two of them. And you're one of the best rebounders, probably the best rebounder on the Fordham team, one of the best in the conference, specifically in offensive rebounding. What's going to be the really big key of holding those two off of the glass come to the matchup?
I think just getting everyone involved in boxing out and crashing the boards. We've really focused on face boxing this year, especially because like teams like Baylor, Arizona State, like their girls are 6 inches taller than our forwards. So just face boxing and having other people possibly get the rebound. And just really keeping those two forwards off the glass and like I really take pride in rebounding. And if I score 0 points in the game, that's completely fine with me as long as I like own my role and do my job of crashing the offensive boards and helping the team get extra possessions. And then on the defensive side, also keeping their forwards and their team off the glass. Just wanting it more essentially than the other team.
Well, that's going to do it. Meg Jonassen, senior forward for Fordham women's basketball. Megan, we appreciate the time and good luck in the game.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks. I appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.